Good morning, everyone. Well, today it's Tracey who is going to do her presentation, and I cannot wait because it's perfect timing to be healthy and to know how to look after ourselves. So, and you've got so much knowledge. Cannot wait for you to tell us all about your presentation today. Thank you.
Thanks, Muriel. Thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for turning up. I'll just get my presentation ready. Right, so bear with me. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about intermittent fasting, and this is near and dear to my heart because I've been doing it for a number of years when I found out the health benefits and also felt the health benefits as well. So it's an integral part of my larger program because it should be a part, not should, it is good that if it is a part of healthy eating as a lifestyle, not as a once-off thing. So intermittent fasting, or fasting in itself, has been driven in the past over time by religious and spiritual beliefs, and it's common to many cultures, and it's been practiced for millennia. And they also realise the health benefits of it as well. And this is why I'm using it as part of my program, especially since in the last century there's been a shift away from diseases being caused by a lack of nutrition and now it's as a result of eating too much. So we're eating too much food, which is leading to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and the list goes on. So that is why it's I'm talking about it today, and we'll if there's any questions, please ask at the end of the talk and I'd love to answer them for you. So my name is Tracey Lillis, and I'm an advocate, as I said before, of intermittent fasting. I've been fasting since 2017, and the benefits that I've received from it are mental clarity. I can control my hunger cravings much better. I find that when I eat this way that I'm less hungry than I am if I eat 3 meals a day. So I love my food, and I always have done. And as I've gotten older and the waistline becomes thicker because your hormones sort of slow down, I saw a need to take better control of the way I ate, and so I gave this a go. And also I've studied nutrition as part of my applied science degree at university, so that was also an interesting fact, learning about nutrition and vitamins and minerals and that sort of thing as well. So what are we going to talk about on the talk today? I'm going to be talking about what is intermittent fasting, starvation versus fasting, because that's really important. A lot of people think that fasting is starvation, and it's not so. The benefits, who is it for and not for, because there are some people that it's not really suitable for. Different fasting methods, how you can break your fast, and the signs you can look for the best time for that, and some fasting tools. So what is intermittent fasting? It's actually just timing, really, and when you choose to eat. And there's a few different methods out there that I'll touch on soon. But yeah, it's a timing of eating, really, and that's all it really is. You can use it in conjunction with other methods such as ketogenic eating, low carb, high fat. It's got links into that. But if you just choose to eat healthy with it, then you'll get good results. Okay, so the difference between starvation and fasting. As it says there, starving is actually severely limiting your food. And what it actually does, it slows your metabolism down. So, and it can have quite drastic effects on your metabolism permanently. So back in hunter-gatherer days, or we even see it in nations that have, they have a famine or something like that, in order to survive, the body will actually slow the metabolism down so that it can still do its vital functions, eat, breathe, you know, run the heart and things like that. So in order to do that, it slows everything down. It's like a bear going into hibernation. And then as soon as you start eating, the body thinks, oh my goodness, I have to make sure that if this happens again, I've got the reserves for that. So then it lays it down as body fat. And that's why a lot of diets out there, no matter which way you want to, what diet you want to try, they all sort of rely on, rely on calorie intake and restriction. So fasting, as I said it before, is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of eating and not eating. And there's no calorie restrictions on it. So it tends to be easier for a lot of people to follow as a lifestyle choice. In the past, as I mentioned before, the health benefits, they were even identified way back when in Greek times, ancient Greek times. And our body is so, it's like an amazing machine. It can heal itself given the right tools. And so when we are fasting, it actually has the ability to clean out the junk, repair and everything, because it's not focusing its energy on digestion and all the tasks that go with digestion. So it actually has the ability to fix itself well when it's in a fasting state. Okay, so the main benefits of fasting, well, there's a few on the board here. Weight loss, or fat loss. So it can actually help you lose the belly fat without actually having to restrict your calories. And insulin resistance is amazing. So they've actually found that it can help protect against type 2 diabetes, and it drops people's blood sugar levels. So that's another thing that you have to be a little bit careful for if you do have this condition, is make sure that you do it tell your doctor you're doing it, and because you may need to adjust your insulin levels because your blood sugars will even out, so you won't need as much medication. It is very beneficial for heart health, so it can reduce bad cholesterol, blood triglycerides, inflammatory markers in your heart, and also, once again, it's closely linked with diabetes, so and insulin resistance, so it can lower your blood sugars. It actually has been shown to prevent cancer. And for brain health, it is also seen to protect against Alzheimer's disease. And unfortunately, that seems to be rising in our society at the moment. It used to be an old person's disease, but it's now, unfortunately, dropping down, and people in their 40s are being diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And anti-aging effects, so increasing your longevity. It's actually shown in a few different rat studies that fasted rats live 36 to 83% longer than rats that ate on a regular basis. Okay, other little side effects that you can get are improved skin tone and health, so it makes you look younger. It stimulates new cells that grow, including in the brain, so they'll give you, make you feel a bit younger as well. Improves and balances out your hormones. And what else? I'm just thinking here. Increases, so the other benefits to your brain is it makes you feel a lot clearer, like you get a much, the brain fog tends to lift. You end up being more positive, more energy and enthusiasm, and it can enhance your spiritual connection as well. So people that are spiritually based, lots of benefits for you there. And that's why the old, back in the day, people would have, medicine women and shamans and things fasted before to go into a trance to get that connection. Okay, so who is it for and not for? So this lifestyle choice is for anyone that really wants to get a real grip on their health and control, not feel like they're out of control with their eating. And it is a lifestyle choice, so it's something that is done for your life. So it has to be something that suits your lifestyle, and it can suit your lifestyle because not eating in the morning means you don't have to prepare your breakfast. So that's a benefit. And it's not really for people who jump on different bandwagons. Then again, you might give this a go and find that it's a perfect fit for you. And really, it's probably, if you've never done it before, then having a support person there that you can bounce ideas off and get some help for is a great idea. So who is this not for? Definitely not for pregnant and nursing women, because the studies aren't there, and in nursing women it can reduce milk output, and also they say the nutrition in the milk, so not particularly good for women, and women who are trying to get pregnant, because as far as trying to get pregnant goes, if you're interrupting, the studies just aren't there, so I wouldn't recommend it. That's what they say not to do. Definitely not for children, although over in Europe, as long as it's done under supervision of a doctor, they're recommending it for obese children. So here are the medical conditions that you should not do with intermittent fasting. So if you have a liver or kidney disease, you're extremely frail, malnourished, anemic, or exhausted. So that would be for people that have fatigue issues and things like that. If you have got a weak immune system, they do not recommend it. Severely high blood pressure, so it'd have to be done under supervision. And let me see. Also, if you have an eating disorder, either anorexia or bulimia, because you just don't want to go down a path and then go too severe and worry about what you're eating all the time, as opposed to actually seeing the benefits it can be for your body instead of your waistline. Shouldn't do it after a major, after surgery or before surgery. And it's not really suitable, they say, for people that are afraid of fasting. So if you're fearful of it, then it can shut down and induce a stress response and stuff like that. Okay, so there's a few different methods for fasting, and I actually use the 16-8 method. And so I generally eat between 12 and 1, and then I stop eating at about 8 o'clock at night. That gives my stomach time to digest the food and go to bed on an empty stomach, which means that my body's not then trying to process my food, as well as try and do cellular repair and clean the blood and everything it does at night time, and do all its essential processes. So that's what I do. The next one is fast for 24 hours once or twice a week. And the next is a 5-2 diet. And I don't really like the word diet because it means that you're restricting yourself. And that's calorie counting. So that then you get in the mindset of, it's like the other diets I've used. It's very difficult to manage. You've got to count your food. Much easier just to do the 16-8. Make sure that it doesn't make sense if you eat junk food as soon as you break your fast for the day. You're doing this to improve your health, so why not eat healthy foods when you're in the eating stage of the day. Okay. What else? Oh, I was going to say, because I have a young family and trying to put on them when you've got young girls, I'm really conscious of teaching them the wrong things about body image. So I have had my daughters say to me, "Oh, well, I'm not hungry in the morning," and I'll say to them, "Look, once you're an adult, then you can do this, but you're a child and you need your food." So, but I will still sit with them and have my breakfast on a Saturday and Sunday, and I tend to find that works better for my body, because sometimes women find the fasting a little bit more difficult for blood sugar than men do. So it still works extremely well, but I find my body responds better if I do have breakfast on a weekend. So I have 3 meals 2 days a week, and 2 meals on the other days of the week. Okay, so breaking your fast. A lot of us don't know what it truly feels to be hungry. So true hunger signals are actually when you get a sensation in your mouth and throat, which is similar to being thirsty, and not a gnawing pain in your stomach. So our body becomes used to certain times of the day, and we do things at certain times of the day. Like some people might have a morning routine and their bowels move at certain times of the day. It's the same for our stomach. If we're used to eating at certain times, we get this little reminder, oh, you should be eating. But generally what it is, it's more behavior rather than true hunger. Okay, and so another reason to break your fast is if you get nausea and vomiting. That generally only really occurs on people that have fasted more than 24 hours or longer. That's just a sign to stop. And if you've got rapid heart rate, drop in heart rate, or irregular heartbeat, it's definitely time to stop. And yeah. Okay, so fasting tools. Because your cells are doing a clean out, they need to be flushed out. Your stomach still needs to, and gastrointestinal system still needs to do its job. So it's always good to make sure you have lots of water and electrolytes. So that's minerals and things like that can go back into the cells, because they tend to get flushed out a lot, especially when you're in the fat loss side of the fasting and you're just starting out and your body's getting into that process. Then that's the best time to it's important to have electrolytes. I utilize a ketone supplement. It just allows me to stay in ketosis, which is where your body uses ketones instead of glucose for energy. And interestingly enough, I've forgotten to throw in there that what happens to or what used to happen in the days before medication and knowledge. So back in the dark ages, when people had epilepsy, they were seen to be possessed by the devil. So they used to actually lock them away for 3 days, and then miraculously the devil would leave and their fits would stop, their seizures. And then it was because their body had switched over in those 3 days of fasting into using ketones, which are produced by the liver, as a fuel source instead of using glucose. And still to this day, and that's why the ketogenic has been invented, because some people still need a dietary way of controlling their seizures because they don't respond to the medication. So that's a little bit of a history as to ketones. So a ketone supplement will actually keep me in ketosis for longer, keeps me burning ketones instead of glucose. So when I'm not doing a ketogenic diet and I might throw in, something that's not extremely healthy all the time, it just allows me to get back into that state instead of having to do it for 3 days. And minerals and vitamins. If you're going to do an extended fast, like I do an extended fast, I'll do 60-hour fast just on water and some supplements just to, when I'm feeling down, when I've overeaten, say gone on a cruise or Christmas, and then afterwards I just feel absolutely terrible. And I just think, right, time to get the body back on track. And so that's when I'll do a 60-hour fast, and that cuts the sugar cravings as well after 3 days, which is great. And minerals and vitamins are good to take as well, so that the body can continue to do its repairing and that sort of thing at the time. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. Absolutely amazing, yeah, content. And actually, I just have one question.
Yes.
And yes, I can see there will be some others as well. Which minerals do you use? You know, when you were talking about electrolytes, what kind of minerals do you actually use? What do you mean by that?
Well, you can get an electrolyte supplement from the chemist or the health food store. You just got to make sure, because a lot of them have sugar in them. And if you're eating healthy or you're doing a ketogenic way of eating, then it doesn't make sense to have something full of sugar, because that just gets you then into your brain. It's sugar's like a drug, and as soon as you have it, then the brain wants more of it. It wants that feeling. So yeah, you can get an electrolyte supplement. It's the same as if you've got diarrhea and you go to the hospital and they give you an electrolyte supplement to take. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Powerade or anything like that. Too much sugars and other fillers in there. Yeah, or even fruit juices like citrus and that have electrolytes in them, just to make sure you don't dehydrate. Yeah, so it's mainly a dehydration tool. Yeah, to stop dehydration.
Okay, that's fantastic. Kim, I saw you had a question.
Yes, I'm actually super inspired. Careful, my kids in the background. Tracey, what is your favorite meal to break your fast with? Give me some good tips there.
Oh, well, I always like to cook extra at night time, so I generally have leftover lunch for the meal for the next day. Yeah, it's generally salad and protein, or salad and veggies, that sort of thing. And I know that because I am more low carb way of eating, I make sure that I have healthy fats in there, just to keep, so that I don't keep looking for food, because sometimes when you break your fast, you're just thinking, oh, I'm absolutely starving, and then you tend to want to go and eat all the wrong things. So if you make sure that your meals are ready, so that you're not raiding the pantry or the fridge for the wrong foods. Yeah, but great question. Thank you.
Good tips. Thank you.
And people obviously can contact you, Tracey. Yeah? You are available to be able to answer the needs, or even set them up with a meal plan.
Oh yes, yeah, just some healthy eating options, but I can get a little bit detailed on that as well. So if people just throw their hands up in the air, if they've got allergies or something like that, then I can do a more of a customized one. But yeah, it's really up to people what they want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So they can find you obviously on Facebook, or and send you a message and then be in contact with you, because it's so important for the moment to be healthy as well with what we're going through, that to have an awesome and resistant body in any times it's positive, but even more now. So I think that's absolutely awesome, and definitely going to do that as well. But thank you so much for that presentation. We appreciate all your knowledge, and it's so inspiring each time. So, and I know that some are going to do it as well. I can see in comments that some of the groups are really motivated to do it as well. So you're really changing lives. So cannot wait to see you do your purpose all around. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Muriel.